Hey everybody, welcome back to another video of Don't Be a Wimp 101. Today's video, we're going to be looking at how to use some of the leftover ham, turkey, chicken, or anything that we have like that from possible holiday sales that they have. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't believe in it. But a lot of people do celebrate Christmas, and they go over to their in-laws or their friend's house, and they get take-home plates of ham or turkey or chicken or whatever they have there. And they say, you know, I'm on a budget. I want to know how to make this stretch. There's some people who've never been on a budget in their life. They've had everything given to them, you know. They have like a silver spoon in their mouth. They just have everything, and they don't appreciate anything. They don't appreciate their family. They don't appreciate their friends. They only care about themselves. They care about their own problems. They don't care about anyone. And I really feel sorry for those people. But since you're watching this video, you're probably not one of those people, because you don't want to be a wimp, and you probably want to learn how to adapt to a life of possible economic hardship. Because, you know, just because people are handed money doesn't mean they're going to have it for the rest of their life. One day, it might be gone. You know? And there's a lot of people who have a lot of money, and they think, oh, I'm always going to be rich, you know, I'm always going to have this stuff. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're probably not going to have it. And when you die, you're not going to have your money. So you better learn now, if you're smart, how to do these things. So like I was saying, there's different ways to use up the ham and the turkey and the chicken and things that you might be getting from your friends. And back in the, not even the old days, when my kids were growing up, we had like a barter system with the neighbors. I would watch some of the neighbors' kids in the trailer park that I lived in, and in exchange for watching their kids, they would come and say, hey, do you want some of this government pork that I got? Because I wasn't on welfare. I wish I was. I wish I could have got food stamps. But, you know, in order to do that, I would have to go down there and deal with those people, and I'd rather not. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, they would give me the government pork, and I would mix that in with beans or rice, and it would make a mini meals for my kids. What I'm going to show you today has to do with, we got some tortillas, alright? For those of you who don't know what a tortilla is, this is a tortilla. You can buy them, or you can make your own. You can look up a online recipe for tortillas, and a lot of people make their own. They make their own fresh tortillas, and you have a lot more control over what's in your tortilla if you make it, you know, yourself. You could buy the organic flour, you know, put in your organic salt and whatever your shortening and stuff can be however you want it. A lot of people are vegan or vegetarian. Sometimes not by choice, but sometimes because of economic reasons they're vegan or vegetarian, and maybe it's more economical for them to make their own. So we're going to do a little burrito rolling thing here, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to fold our burrito, our tortilla, with our beans mixture in here. I put about 1.5 tablespoons of bean mixture in here. You see how I put it there? Kind of flattened it out a little bit, left some on the edges open so I can fold it. So you fold it, and then you go to the back here, and you roll it like this. You hold the edges in and you roll it, and you roll it. Don't be afraid. Don't be a wimp. Just roll it up. If it doesn't come out right the first time and it goes all over the place, get your spoon, scoop it together, fix it up. Then stick it in a Ziploc bag. If you have a lot of beans, like what I did was I cooked up a lot of lima beans. I got probably like 3 containers of these lima beans, and I got this ham that was about this big and about this wide, so it wasn't very much at all. I cut it up really thin, and I cooked these lima beans. Now, the thing about beans is I did an experiment recently, and I went to the store and I bought a package of dried lima beans, just the regular store, right? And I said, you know what, I'm going to try these lima beans. Yeah, they're processed with chemicals and stuff like that. They're made with pesticides on them, so it's like with your foods. If you look on the number on your foods, like say in the United States, if you have like an onion or an apple or tomatoes, you look on the food, it'll have a sticker. The sticker will either say 4 for the first number, 8 for the first number, or a 9 for the first number. A 4 means that the food is traditionally grown with pesticides. An 8 means the food is a genetically modified food. A 9 means that the food is an organic food. Okay? So anyway, I bought these beans. They weren't organic, and I thought, you know, I'm going to try them out, you know, and see how they are. Now, I've grown beans in a garden, and I know how beans are supposed to react when you rinse them. You put your beans inside a pot, you rinse them, you clean them up, because you want to get the dirt, you want to get the rocks, and you want to get all that stuff off your beans, right? And well, I noticed I cold water rinsed them, and the beans started splitting. They all started splitting like immediately. The skin started coming off the beans. And I was shocked. I looked at it and I go, this is not the way that lima beans are supposed to react. I've grown lima beans. I've grown all kinds of beans. And they don't react like this. They don't start splitting and cracking like this. Something's wrong. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to the store and get some organic beans, because I haven't grown a bunch of beans this year. I just, mostly in my tent, I've got like tomatoes, peppers, like the banana peppers, and I've got bell peppers, and lots of herbs and stuff like that, but no beans. So I went and I got the organic beans. I came home, I rinsed them. There was no splitting. You know, I waited for a while later, still no splitting. I cooked them after I cleaned them. Still no splitting. And I thought, whoa, something was really wrong with those store-bought beans, you know, just the regular number 4 kind of beans. And I won't buy them anymore, because I think that chemically, I think that the food manufacturers are putting something really bad in there to make it do that. So I'm not touching it. It's not like I'm a Puritan on stuff. I mean, there is ham in this. And like I said, if you go over to like your friend's house and whatever, and they have some sort of leftover meat, and you're like, you know, I can't eat all of that right now. It just, you know, I want to have something healthy. Then make yourself up some beans. Get the ham or the chicken, cut it up really fine. And what I did, I'll tell you my recipe, what I used. I got the lima beans, put them in a pot, and it was this pot right here, and it basically filled the pot. Like the beans, when you put them in dry, they're about to here, and the rest you put water, and by the time the beans swell, after you've cooked them for about 3 or 4 hours, you know, they swell pretty high, it comes all the way up to here. So just use a little bit of beans, a lot of water, heat it up, put some salt in there, and that will soften your beans, and put put some bouillon in there. If you have beef bouillon or chicken bouillon or this vegetable type bouillon, you can use that. And bouillon is I don't have much in here now because I use most of it, but it looks sort of like Vegemite or apple butter. Or you can buy it in the cubes. They have the little cubes that you can buy and put it in there. It adds a good flavor to it. And these are things that you can do to extend the life of the food you have. Now say, okay, you know, I have money. do you still want to waste your money? I mean, if it's taken you a long time in life to be able to have nice things, like it has me, then you appreciate that you have it. And, well, I know I appreciate that I have the things that I have. And what I want to do is, I would like to have a nice future for my family, for my granddaughter, for my children, and my family. I want them to have a nice future, so, you know, why would I be running around and tossing my money out the window on things that I don't really need? Sometimes I might want something special for myself, and I'll get that. But mostly I'm thinking about the future of my granddaughter and my kids. Because Lord knows, kids, my kids they had a hard life. They had a really hard life. And some other kids, they have a very, very easy life. And some parents have a very easy life, and they just don't appreciate it. They're not happy. They're depressed. And they're just not there for the basics anymore. They're just thinking about themselves all the time, and that's really sad. It's so sad, because if we get out of ourselves and think about other people and how to help them, then we're happier people. We're happier. Like right now, I'm making this video because I want to help those of you out there that say, I don't know what to do. I don't really have money. I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm just eating the same thing all the time, or what can I do with beans? What can I do with this ham? Am I just going to eat it or throw it away? Or, you know, I'm here to help you to understand that you can help yourself. You can go out there and get yourself a big bag of beans and cook it up on the stove and roll yourself some meals that are going to last potentially for months. I mean, you can make so many burritos, and they're very healthy for you. And you can put cheese in there if you want. But this recipe here, I put like the bouillon in there, and I put the beans, and I put some spices. You can use whatever spice you want to put in there. I like to put sage sometimes, and parsley, and sometimes some little bit of thyme, and all those things are good for your health. Each of those herbs have medicinal benefits as well. So that is something that's really good about the herbs. Just be a little careful with some herbs, because you want to make sure that you don't have an allergy to it. Some people have allergies to different types of herbs and things. So make sure that what you're eating is not something that's an allergy-causing food. But if you're going through a hard time right now, financially, just take heart. Take heart that things are going to get better. And some people feel really sad because, you know, they may have had a hard life and no one helped them. They had to basically do it themselves. But I'm telling you that the people around you that are your friends and your neighbors, especially the older generation, they are some of the best friends that you can make. Because sometimes when your own family doesn't help you, and they just, you know, live the high life. They run around having a good time, flying all over the country, you know, doing whatever they're doing, and you're struggling to survive and to raise your children. You're struggling, and, you know, you can't even turn your heat on, and they don't seem to care. They don't even, you know, call you or whatever. You're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. You just make your bean burritos. You put your extra layers of clothes on in the wintertime. And you be a good person despite how those around you are acting. Because God, if you believe in God, which I do, He sees what you're doing. He sees that you're trying to be a good person. And especially help kids. Especially help kids. Or single mothers. If there's single mothers out there or families that you see are struggling and you can help them, help them. If you get on your feet and you start to make a little extra money and you're living comfortable, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget your roots and help other people. If you see a single mother who can't feed her child, barely feed herself, barely take care of herself, help her out. What does she need? What does she need? Does she need something for her baby? Does she need food? Does she need clothing? Does she need help with her shelter? A place to live? What does the baby need? Does the baby need food? Does the baby need clothing? Does the baby need blankets for their bed to stay warm? Or clothing to wear outside? What does that little baby need? You know, you can do these things. You can help other people. And in small ways, you're making the world a better place. These can be your family members too. Maybe you have family members that are struggling. Maybe they need you. Don't judge them. Don't judge them. Don't say, well, you know, this or that. Just help them. Just help them. Because you may change that person's life. If people believed in other people, they could change a lot of things. Some of my best friends grew up in the Depression, and they were in the 80s and 90s when they were my friends. And if it wasn't for those people, and if it wasn't for people that were the older generation sharing the things that they had, they would make like some food and they'd bring it on over. Or in the winter time, we had this one neighbor lady who gave us a gift of a blanket. A blanket. Now to most people it would be like, oh, a blanket, I'm going to go put that in the closet, I don't need that. That blanket, if it wasn't for that woman's blanket, I just can't tell you how cold it was in that trailer. We couldn't turn the heat up because we couldn't pay for the heat. And this woman went out and bought a blanket and gave it to us and thought nothing of it. And I told her later, I said, Fran, that blanket saved us from basically freezing to death. And I appreciated her so much. And the kids would come by my trailer, and you know, maybe that day they wouldn't have anything to eat, or they wouldn't eat good at home because, you know, they were poor. These kids were poor. They'd come over, and I'd have a big old batch of burritos like this, big batch. And I told the kids, go ahead, make yourself a burrito. Or I'd have a bunch of cooked potatoes. I'd go out and get a big, huge bag of potatoes, you know, because it's really not that much money. You can buy a huge bag of potatoes for just a couple of dollars. And I would cook like a huge pot of potatoes. Cook those potatoes and put them on the counter. And as the kids would come home from school, the neighborhood kids, they'd stop by my house. And they would get their potatoes and heat them up. And eat those potatoes. Just eat them and dip them in. Sometimes we had ranch dressing. Sometimes we just had salt and pepper. And they would just eat them like that. And, you know, I've had some of those kids now that are in their 30s tell me, you know, that was the best food that I had for days on end when I came over to your house. And we were so poor, you know. but a potato. And you don't know what kind of impact you're having on people with what you do. How much love you show for them, and how much you care for people. They can come by your house and have a potato. I mean, think about it. And there are people sitting there eating lobster and all this expensive seafood and going on trips to Disneyland and, you know, new cars all the time or whatever. Buy a computer twice a year, and a bunch of TVs, and it's not that it's not nice to have those things. You can have those things, but think about other people as well, right? You know, take your time out and spend time with people, helping people. That is what will help build character. That is what will help you from not being a wimp, and that is what will help you from being a better. It'll help you to be a better person. Definitely help you not to be so depressed, so stuck on yourself, so into your own problems, thinking, oh, why me, why everything goes bad for me. Not really. Take a look around. Take a good look around. Look who might need your help, and help them. What about the mentally ill? We can help a lot of people who are mentally ill. There may be people who are out on the street. We're walking by, we just had a great meal, we got our takeout box, right? They're sitting there, they're hungry. Why not give them your takeout box? You know? Why not do that? Why not go in the store and buy a V8 juice or something like that that's healthy, something really healthy, a nice sandwich with lettuce and tomato, or sub sandwich or something with all kinds of vegetables on it and stuff. Or why not cook something and bring it and pass it out to people who are on the street? I don't know about your homeless population, but in Colorado Springs, where I used to live, there was a pretty high homeless population, and you know, people were hungry. Sometimes they were thirsty, sometimes they just wanted some vegetables. Sometimes they were so mentally ill that they couldn't go to the soup kitchen to get some food. So you're handing them a V8 juice is a big deal. Not a big deal to you, it's just a V8 juice. You have money, right? Well, to them it's a big deal, and you never know. You may see that person later, and they may be doing a lot better. And why is it? Maybe because you started it. Maybe you started treating that person like a human being. Maybe the person doesn't have mental illness, but they can't have a job. Something's just not right. You treat them like a human being. You treat them with respect, dignity, and respect. Right? Alright, so we still got some tortillas left. If you think I'm throwing these away, you're crazy. I'm going to use them for something else. But we got ourselves a bunch of burritos right here. And these are going to be ham and bean burritos. And I got one more over here. And these are going to last for a few months, but just basically, that's what you can do with your leftover stuff. But the main thing about my Don't Be a Wimp video today, if you could tell, is get out of yourself. Help other people. That will help you not to be a wimp. So, don't be a wimp, okay? I'll see you in another Don't Be a Wimp 101 video later. Alright, you guys, go out and help people. Love you all. Mwah.